and Braderick are the midfield 5, with Suslov and Bowie the 2 up front, with just 2 goals between them, and both going to the young 23-year-old Scotsman Kieran Bowie, the academy graduate here at Hellas Verona. So we're just going through the final formalities here at the stadium. I'll keep the scores going on around Europe as well. Man United led 2-0 against Liverpool, but they find themselves back on level terms. Goals from Szoboszlai and Gakpo ruling out Cunha and Sesko in Serie A. The games this weekend have all had some permutations across the league. Inter could win the title tonight with a point following Como and Napoli sharing a point, which opened the door for Juventus and for Inter this evening. There were also 0-0 draws between Bologna and Cagliari, and Atalanta and Genoa. Sassuolo beat AC Milan 2-0 to give the chasing pack some hope in that Champions League run-in. As we just have a minute of silence here, of applause, in the ground for the memory of Alex Zanardi, who passed away this week. A legend here at Juventus, as the fans just held before they start to trickle in once again. Udinese beat Torino in a mid-table clash by 2-0, and that all-important one for Hellas Verona, with Lecce beating Pisa by 2-1. They've got themselves a 4-point gap at the bottom of the table against the relegation zone. But for one of these two sides, the points are still there for the taking for Juventus. It's a bit of a free hit with sides around them not picking up points. Bologna in 8th, Atalanta in 7th, Como 5th, AC Milan in 3rd, and Napoli all in 2nd, failing to pick up points this weekend. So Juventus have the chance here on Sunday evening to try and add a few points to their tally. There's a couple of games still going to go ahead this evening. Inter against Parma, Cremonese, Lazio tomorrow evening, and then after that AS Roma against Fiorentina to wrap the weekend up. But it is those in black going from right to left, the home side getting us underway in that all black away kit that they do have. Hellas Verona in their all yellow home strip as well, so nice and easy on the eye for those that are colourblind a little bit. Did go to a game yesterday where the kit clash was very, very similar, and the person that was stood next to me was colourblind and had to ask every now and then which was which when the ball was going down the channels. But on this occasion, I'm sure he would be rather happy that these two sides are completely different colours. But inside the first 60 seconds, it's Juventus just controlling the ball and moving across to the left-hand side. It's a fixture that they do normally come out the better of. They're unbeaten in their last 8 Serie A matches against Hellas Verona, winning 6, keeping 6 clean sheets as well. It's something they've done really well throughout this campaign in the league. 15 clean sheets too. They're now relegated. Hellas Verona's 6. They've scored in each of their last 25 matches as well against the away side. Only against Cagliari and Atalanta have Juve had longer scoring runs in the league. Verona have lost 39 times in Serie A matches against Juve. Only against Inter Milan have they lost more in this competition. It doesn't bode well. Juventus have also won 15 in the last 16 home games against Verona across head-to-head. 13 of the last 14 in Serie A, but it's the away side on the ball just on the far left-hand corner of the Juve penalty area, just getting themselves in possession for the first time of the afternoon, just working it back nicely in towards Gagliardini. Comes back into his own half and forces it across to the right-hand side in towards Nelson, who will retreat all the way back towards Lorenzo Montipo, the 29-year-old Italian goalkeeper. He's a long-serving number one, the rock at the back of this side that spent many, many years fighting for survival. And in the reverse fixture, it was a good point that Hellas Verona's took. It was during the time when Juventus were struggling to pick up points. They were losing under Igor Tudor, who's already been in another role and left that role at Tottenham Hotspurs. But here come Juventus, swinging it across towards the left-hand side to get Cambiasso involved. Tries to loft it back in towards the area, and it was looking for McKennie. The American coming in at the far post. He tried to rise highest, but just a little bit over his head. But it was an enticing ball from Cambiasso from the left-hand side, really inviting into that corridor of uncertainty between the goalkeeper and the defence, and just inviting McKennie to try and get on the end of it, but bypasses the American wide man. He's got 5 goals to his name this season, more than anybody else in the starting lineup for Juventus, bar the 2 up front of Yildiz and David. 10 for Yildiz, 6 for David this season. Then comes McKennie from that right-hand side. 3.5 minutes then gone in this game, and it's 0-0 between these two sides over in La Liga. It's just about to come to a close. Getafe losing at home to Rayo Vallecano, who still have Europe to look forward to as well. Borussia Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund 25 minutes into their game in the Bundesliga, still 0-0. In Ligue 1, Auxerre beating Angers by 1-0. Paris FC beating Brest by 2-0. And Strasbourg also looking at Europe next week, drawing at home with Toulouse 1-1. In the Eredivisie, AZ Alkmaar losing at home to 20 by 2-1. Sparta Rotterdam beating Go Ahead Eagles by the same scoreline as well. It's Juve with the ball just inside their own half, across to the left-hand side in towards Cambiasso. Works it towards the halfway line. He just has to find a little bit of support in Yildiz, who just looks to retrieve the pass over the top, looking for Jonathan David, who's taken out for good measure by Gagliari. And the referee has no doubt in his mind whatsoever to bring out the first yellow card of the afternoon, and that will go the way of Gagliari here in Serie A. And it's Giovanni Airoldi, the man in the middle. He's an experienced Italian referee, but showing no mercy there. Paolo Sammarco looks on for Hellas Verona. On the near side, a penny for his thoughts about how this season has gone, sitting in 19th place it stands. Locatelli stands over the ball. There is just one in the wall. It's halfway inside the Hellas Verona half. They've gone short instead. Locatelli would have shifted across to the right-hand side after linking up with Cambiasso on the left. Running over at Friese is McKennie, just trying to stretch his legs. Comes back out in towards Locatelli again, and Conceição in the middle. Locatelli once more. He's got support with Cambiasso on the left. Decides to go across towards Conceição on the right-hand side, trying to take on Friese once again. This time can't quite get the better of him, but has won a corner kick out of the attack, and good intent from those in black to start this game as Man United retake the lead against Liverpool 3-2. They are up in that game, and I can guarantee you it's likely going to be Sesko. I put him on my bench in my fantasy team, and if you ever want to know how to do Fantasy Premier League, it's just to ask me what I've done and then do the complete opposite. And it's Juve with the corner. There's 5 inside the box. There's 2 that's gone short. One of those that's short is Kalulu, and that's who it's found. Tries to loft one in towards the box. The header then comes down from Kelly, but it's too easy right in front of Montipo in the goal, and just stops the attack for Juve for the time being. But Montipo will just hammer the ball forward. It's actually Kobe Mainoo with the goal for Man United, and just puts the ball into the Juve box. But it was a good corner, taken short in towards Kalulu, returned it back down towards Conceição, who just looked to get the ball in on his left, floated across towards Kelly at the far side of the box, and his header just didn't have the direction or the power on it to trouble Montipo in the goal. He's the kind of goalkeeper that survival sides really rely on. He's going to take some beating. He has taken plenty of beatings this season. 56 goals they've conceded in the league. They've only scored 23. It's been their real downfall in their 34 games. Just 9 goals are on the pitch with no gift or ban. The loanee from Hoffenheim with his 7 goals. The next best player is on 2, and that's the Danish defender Friese, the Algerian number 7 Ben Ghali, and the Scotsman Kieran Bowie. As Juve trying to attack from the far side with a long-range cross shot just coming over, and Montipo for a moment was unsure where that ball was going to land as he scrambled across his goal line, but he was grateful to see it just skip past in front of him and out for a goal kick. But for a moment his heart was in his mouth, and those short travelling Hellas Verona fans who've come the 260 kilometres in the 3-hour drive to Turin just watched on their season. Has been a difficult one for them to watch. It's never really looked like getting going. There may have been just a brief spell where Pisa and Hellas Verona did just start to show a little bit of fire and a bit of life, but it soon died out. The embers soon disappeared and died out rather quickly. It's on the near left-hand side, and Juve will have a throw in. 8.5 minutes then gone in this first half, and it is Juve who are doing the majority of the attacking and trying to threaten the Hellas Verona goal. In that 3-5-2 formation, the Hellas Verona have come in today with Montipo in goal, Nelson, Friese, Edmondson, the back three, Bogali, Akpro, Gagliardini, who's on a yellow card already from the opening stages, Benetti and Bradaric, the midfield five with Suslov and Bowie, the two up top for the home side. Juventus, that team, again, if you are just joining us a little bit late in this contest, still 0-0, 9 minutes in. Di Gregorio in goal, Kalulu, Bremer and Kelly, the back three, McKennie, Locatelli, Thuram and Cambiasso, the four just sitting in front of that back lineup with McKennie and Cambiasso doing a lot of that wing-back defensive duty as well, which we do tend to see in the modern game. Conceição and Yildiz will sit just behind Jonathan David, the Canadian, up front with 6 goals to his name this season, joined from Lille on a free last summer. He sets himself a target of 25 league goals. He's not really got anywhere close to that this season, Jonathan David. But he can certainly have ambition, and it's not a bad thing to have some ambition, but maybe try and have a little bit more realism. He just leaves the ball in for Yildiz, who just tries to skip round two, but good defensive work on the edge of his own box by Friese, who just hacks the ball away towards the halfway line, and Bowie goes down in the centre circle, and the referee will stop play and bring the ball back. But for a moment it was Suslov, who had to run across the pitch to have a word with the referee, Aioldi, as Bowie took the brunt of the challenge that came across from Kalulu. Just held his arm up. And Hellas Verona on the road. 2 wins on the road this season. 2 of their 3 wins this season have come on the road. They do tend to be better on their travels than at home. Maybe a little bit of pressure that might come with playing home games. As the ball goes down the left-hand side looking for the move, Yildiz, but it's an excellent tackle from Nelson, just plays it off. Yildiz, who has to try and race towards his near side. He's in a foot race with Belgali, who lays it back in towards Nelson, who just puts his foot through it, and that wasn't the best of clearances, and out for a throw-in on this near side, deep inside the Yellows' territory for those in black, who take the throw quickly. We'll move it towards the halfway line just to bring Locatelli, who is the beating heart of that midfield, into play. Sends it towards his left-hand side, in towards Cambiasso. No space over on the right-hand side, so bring it again towards the left. Gets Thuram involved, who's not had too much to do in these opening 10 minutes of this game. It's over on the right-hand side with Kalulu, halfway inside the Hellas Verona half, and it's the type of fixture that, and type of game in this fixture that we are likely to see. It's not a packed stadium. There's not too much expectation on this Sunday. It is a game that Juventus will be expected to win, but we've seen plenty of sides slip up this weekend. Como, who have been ruthless this season against the big sides, picking up another point, this time at home to Napoli for Cesc Fabregas's men, who don't tend to play Italians at all. It's been a little bit of a drama here in Serie A this season about the lack of minutes that have been given to Italian players. And when you see it, the likes of Italy failing to qualify, as an overhead kick goes in the middle of the park from Locatelli. It didn't quite go the way that he wanted it to, but he has found the pass over on the right-hand side with Conceição racing back, and Locatelli just saw it in the air and thought, I'll have a little bit of that, and just tried to overhead kick it, and it wasn't the finest of touches, but it did add a little bit of drama to the game, which a little bit of quality to the game, and we always do enjoy that, as Yildiz is just taken off the ball by his opposite number. And the free kick goes Juve's way, 15 yards inside the Hellas Verona half, just on this near left-hand side. As we mentioned, they are much better on the road than they are at home. Hellas Verona's 2 of their 3 wins have come on their travels, but after 34 games, Just 19 points. Leaves everything to be desired. 7 consecutive seasons they've had in the top flight coming to an end. But it also means that we do have a free hit in this game. We see sides like this, see the capitulators. Locatelli goes for goal from range, or just drags his shot wide under a little bit of pressure from the edge of the box, but he's applauded. Is the Juve captain for his ambitious attempt, just moved it across the right hand side from the free kick, played to the edge of the area, linked up nicely with Yildiz, who just laid it back off to the big captain, who took one touch, moved it onto his right and just tried to power it into the bottom left hand corner of Montipo's goal, but the keeper did have it covered, as it did go a couple of yards wide of that left hand upright. And we're saying that this game, it does throw a little bit in terms of the psychology out there. They have no survival target left. They can only make it awkward really for Juve, and we do see teams that are in this position either pull out spectacular results or just capitulate entirely. But inside the opening 15 minutes of this game, they are putting a good fight in, at least, as Locatelli wins a free kick just on this near side, just peeping inside the Juve half. Moves over to Bremer, who continues it over to Kalulu on the right-hand side. Comes back in towards the centre circle, in towards Kelly on the left-hand side of it. He's got Locatelli to support on the left alongside Cambiasso, who he finds, and just having a little bit of a pass between themselves. A little bit like that episode of The Simpsons, where they show the football game and it's just the 3 Portuguese players just passing it between themselves on the halfway line, and the commentator going crazy for it. On this occasion, the commentator would like to see a little bit more action, as the Hellas Verona fans, who waving their flags away to the right hand side, just watching on in this stadium that is a little bit empty from what they are used to. This Juve side, who have had plenty of experience at the right end of the table. The title all but settled elsewhere. Inter Milan will win that if they pick up a point against Parma later on. Even if they don't and lose the last 3 games, their goal difference is almost 30 better than Napoli. And Napoli haven't had that consistency this season. They come off the back of excellent run of results as well. Do Juventus, they haven't lost since February. They drew with AC Milan in their last game. It was a cagey, disciplined away point in the Champions League races. Getting down the left-hand side is Thuram once again, forces it over towards the right-hand side, and the shot comes in from David, but it's held well by Montipo down to his left-hand side. And it was Conceição who laid it off, who got hold of the ball, from David after Yilmaz was just racing down, took on Nilsson ever so well, drew it towards the edge of the area. It was Thuram who tried to play it back to Yildiz. It took a deflection on the way through and found its way into Conceição on the right-hand side, and his snapshot from just inside the box, looking for the bottom left-hand corner, smothered well by the goalkeeper. It's meat and drink for a keeper who does have plenty of experience in this league. Before that AC Milan game, Juve beat Bologna by 2 goals to 0. What was that 3rd straight win with a clean sheet after beating Atalanta by a goal to 0, and Genoa 2-0 as well. The time before that, it has been an excellent time for form to really hit for Juve, which they didn't have under Igor Tudor earlier on in the season. The Hellas Verona, well, their season just proved a little bit more difficult. They lost to Torino in the last game, another narrow defeat after losing 1-0 to Fiorentina, which took the Purples further away from them after they were part of that relegation battle this season as well. And that game really just highlighted the attacking issues that those in yellow have had this season. And then that result for Lecce on Friday, not even allowing them to go down on their own terms. Hellas Verona sent down at the hands of their relegation rivals. It'll be Serie B next season for those in yellow, but 17.5 minutes into this game, and they're putting on a good showing of themselves. At least it is Juve doing all of the attacking, but they're standing up ever so well to try and match them man for man here in this famous ground that's seen some famous nights. And for Juve, this is a game that is less about glamour and more about governance, managing the match, managing the pressure, and just managing that top four race as Kelly loses out the ball in the midfield of the park. And it's Hellas Verona who are just getting inside the Juve half for just the second time in the opening 20 minutes of this contest. But just on the halfway line, have to go back in towards their own half under pressure as Akpa loses out in the middle. He's back with Edmondson. Plays it in towards Akpa again, just inside the Juve half. A nice little pass towards the left-hand side to bring Bernetti into play. He works it nicely in towards midfield, and the chance for Suslov to take aim from distance, but it's high, it's wide, and it's not very handsome over the top of the bar for Suslov. He's yet to score this season, the 23-year-old Slovakian international. He plays as an attacking midfielder, second striker. He's one of Verona's most creative players. He is the man that can normally pick out a pass, but on that occasion he was trusted to try and pick out a shot at goal as well, but easy enough for Di Gregorio just to watch it fly over the top of his crossbar. And at the same time, Locatelli tries to pick a pass out on this near side, and Nelson will come across to take the throw into the away side. But for Juve, their recent run has been spectacular since they came a cropper for the second time this season against Como at home back in on the 21st of February. Lost 3 games in a row. At that point they were in a slump. They lost to Atalanta in the Coppa Italia. They drew to Lazio, lost to Inter Milan 3-2 in a huge game. Then they lost to Galatasaray as well in the Champions League, and before that result to Como. But since, they had a spectacular run with 6 wins and 3 draws in Serie A. And they did get a return win against Galatasaray, not enough to overturn the tie. They did have a man sent off in both of those legs against Galatasaray, who won 7-5 on aggregate in what has been one of very many exciting contests. But here's Juve again with Conceição trying to dance and wriggle his way through into the box on the right-hand side, but matched really well by Friese and Edmondson inside the box once more to just clear the lines. And out for a throw-in over on the far side. It is 9 games without defeat for Juventus as they chase those Champions League places. In the middle once again with Locatelli, just trying to probe and wriggle and find a way through the middle of the park, and it's Yildiz with the pass, and he does take a deflection off the player in yellow on the way through, so it will be a corner to Juventus, the second of the afternoon. It is a wonderful warm night here in Turin. Short sleeve shirts and the shorts are out for those fans in black and white in the stands. Summer is on the horizon. The World Cup is coming as well, not for an Italian fan if sadly you are of that nature, as the corner's swung in towards Kelly, who didn't quite see it in time, caught it a little bit too late, just managed to get ever such a delicate touch onto it, but it was easy for Montipo, the captain, to get hold of, and it was just floated over the top of everyone. And there was Kelly, who found himself in more space than he ever thought he would have, and just swung his left boot at it, but didn't make the connection that he would have wanted. And easy for the 29-year-old Italian goalkeeper just to pick it up inside his box. He still had to be alert from it. Hellas Verona's trying it down the left-hand side, but just over the top and out for a goal kick as they were looking for the run. Well, Bernetti down that left-hand side. Juve will take the goal kick quickly, holding the momentum inside the opening 25 minutes of this game, controlling the tempo as well. They're winning everything in that midfield battle, and for Juve it has been a comfortable start despite not having anything on the scoreboard just yet. But as time goes on, it allows Hellas Verona just to get into the game as Kelly's pass looking for David up front, goes all the way past everyone and out for a goal kick, and his lazy passes like that do just allow the away side to build and grow in this game, as Go Ahead Eagles have equalised against Sparta Rotterdam on the Eredivisie. It's 2-2 in that game. Man United and Liverpool in the 96th minute of that contest. Still 3-2 to Manchester United in Ligue 1 Auxerre and Angers. Still 1-0 to the home side. Paris still leading by 2 goals, still against Brest. And it's 1-1 between Strasbourg and Toulouse as well, as they're all inside the second half in that game. Real Betis and Real Oviedo will be kicking off in around about 5 minutes' time, 6:30 local time. Over in La Liga, and I'll keep you up to date with that score and any others that do go on during this game. But it's over on the far side with Juve once again driving it in towards the areas. Cambiasso lays it off to the right towards David, but he can't get his shot past the first man, and it's blocked and cleared away by those in yellow, who are living dangerously on the edge of their own area still with the ball, trying to clear it out, but it's given away almost over on the far side as a tackle does come in by McKennie, who just sticks his foot in, and Hellas Verona's will manage to just get away over on that far side, but it was a tackle that came flying in from Gagliardini, who had to be careful, completely missed the ball, allowed Yildiz in through the back line, laid it then across, and tried to find the pass across from Cambiasso in towards McKennie. In toward David, whose effort wasn't the best over on that far side on the tight angle. It was too close to the goalkeeper, allowing Montipo once again to get another save in this game, and he's had to do plenty of that in this contest. It has been all Juve inside the opening 25 minutes, of which we're just about to come to. 6 shots, 2-1 for the home side. They're having 75% of the possession. 3 saves Montipo's had to make already to keep the away side in this game. But as it stands, it is still 0-0. Man United won by 3-2. As here come Juve down the right-hand side again with David. Tries to pull it back, and it's just hacked by Gagliardini behind his own goal, and it's another corner kick to Juventus, with the pressure now starting to mount on those in yellow. Yildiz will come across to take the corner from the far side as 5 make their way into the penalty area once more. Kelly, who's had a couple of half attempts from set pieces, makes his way forward, as does Bremer. Yildiz with the outswinger towards the far side, looking towards Kelly, but the header away is taken off his toes by Bowie. Only as far as Cambiasso moves it to the right-hand side. The cross take comes in, and then the header comes off the crossbar from Bremer. It was a wonderful header in, the ball from the right-hand side, just on her button, and Bremer just helps it on its way, and down the left-hand side, Kelly wins another corner kick for those in black. But moments before, it was a wonderful header from the far side. Kalulu with the ball. Bremer just peeled off his man. Edmondson just left wanting, as Bremer just stepped back a yard or so. Got a good connection on it. Tried to send it into the top left corner of Montipo's goal, but it rattled the crossbar. And then out and away for another corner kick. Taken short towards the right-hand side. Comes back out towards Locatelli. Shifts it roll, albeit rather slowly, towards the far side of the box, and allows recovery from Bernede to get back across out towards Locatelli, who hits it on the volley, and it takes a deflection on the way through and takes it away from goal as well. But for a moment, hearts were in mouths from those Hellas Verona fans as Locatelli just put his absolute boot through that one with a thunderous attempt on the volley from the edge of the box. As the corner's taken short, Locatelli once again tries to get across, and it's cleared back out towards Conceição on the right-hand side. Just dinks on back in towards the box, looking for Kelly once more, but it's cleared back out again towards Locatelli. Kalulu down the right-hand side to send McKennie into space. He floats one into the box again, and Hellas Verona's just going to help it on the way and out for another corner kick, and the pressure really starting to pile up on those in yellow inside this first half. It is Locatelli who's causing havoc in the middle. His attempt moments ago just whistling past the right-hand post. As the corner goes into the box on this occasion. Played out, though, towards Locatelli, who it always seems to fall for from the corners in this first half at least. Played by Kalulu down the right-hand side to McKennie. Gets another cross into the box, this time to Bremer, who, under a bit of pressure, can't direct his header on target. And out for a goal kick, and the reprieve that Hellas Verona are about to have. And we've seen it from Juve time and time again this season. Bremer getting himself forward. There's more goals from Juve defenders than any other side in Serie A this season, with 13 to their name. And it was Bremer who hit the post from the header after a lovely cross from the far side before Locatelli whisked one wide from the edge of the area as Kelly just knocks it back down towards his goalkeeper. Di Gregorio hasn't had too much to do in this game, so he'll be grateful to at least have a touch on the ball and to keep himself nice and warm away to the right-hand side. Coming up to half an hour in this contest, still 0-0 between these two sides. The throw-in goes Hellas Verona's way after Kalulu thought he'd won a free kick against Bernede, who just came in behind him, and I think he's probably got a point over on the far side, but Bernede does applaud the referee for his decision. The 27-year-old French midfielder who came through the PSG academy, also was at RB Salzburg as well. He's got an interesting career CV, Paris Academy, Austrian football now. Involved in an Italian survival fight as well. There's the throw-in. He's gone straight out of play and allows Juve to have one in the exact same spot inside the Hellas Verona half. It looked like to be a foul throw, and Hellas Verona will be grateful that they pick up the ball as a tackle goes in on Suslov, who will win the free kick on Locatelli, who's been involved in absolutely everything in the opening half an hour of this contest. As they all eat, the referee has come across to just have a word with Suslov. Well, the hand did come on his shoulder from Locatelli. He didn't half make the most of it and thrown himself down, did the Slovakian. But the free kick has gone to those in yellow either way. It's sent down the right-hand channel, just looking to try and link up between Belcagli and Akpor, but the pass straight into a player in black and over to the far side to Bremer, who will just send a beautiful ball straight to the feet of Conceição on the right-hand side, who just takes on his man, draws in the foul, and Frise will go into the referee's book alongside Cagliari in the opening. Gagliardini, in the opening stages of this game. It was good work on the right-hand side for Conceição, just skipped it on to his left, just drawing the foul. You can see he's had his shirt pulled as well. It's ever so slightly ripped down the middle. That may say more about the quality of the Hummels kit than anything else, but they are beautiful kits that Hummel do it. Juve on the far side with the free kick, 10 yards off the right-hand edge of the penalty area. There's two standing over it, over on the far side. One is Locatelli. Conceição waits on the wing over on the far right-hand side with a little bit of cover from a man in yellow. There's 4 and 5 now inside the box, and Yildiz lurking on the left-hand side of the area as well, as the cross taken from the right, and it's straight into the hands of Montipo, and all the anticipation for the free kick disappears rather quickly. A third of the game gone then between these two sides. Nothing to separate them at the moment, nothing to separate Borussia Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund at half-time, 0-0 in that game. Over in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich found themselves 3-1 down before a 100th minute equaliser from Michael Olise. As an Englishman, I'll never forgive whoever made the decision to not give him an England cap before he chose France. Here come Juve down the right-hand side, trying to get it in towards the area. As a cross comes in towards Locatelli, who goes down under the touch, but the referee gives the free kick against Locatelli, and the card comes out as well for the midfield man. And I'm sure he has already been booked in this game, Locatelli. Earlier on for a challenge in the midfield, the referee hasn't issued the red just yet, but it was cleared on the near side. It came out towards Locatelli, who had his pocket picked inside the box by Akpakpro, who got across. Locatelli went down. He didn't protest too much, did the referee, or did the midfield man. The linesman's flag, who must have gone up as well as he signalled for offside, the referee, and therefore may have given benefit of the doubt to Locatelli, who will have to get confirmation of that, as he certainly brought out the yellow card. And I'm sure he issued one to Locatelli earlier on in the game, but I'm going to get my own fact checkers. Getting down the left-hand side is Hellas Verona down the other end. Plays it nicely in towards the box, towards Bowie, who scores for the away side. And on a weekend where those at the top of the table all can't get themselves over the line, Juve follow suit, and the relegated Hellas Verona take the lead on the road. And it's something they haven't done very much at all this season, and it's Kieran Bowie's third goal of the campaign. It's Juve 0, Hellas Verona 1, and it was poor at the back over on the far side from Bremer. He gave the ball away. The ball then played back across the 6-yard box by Bernardi, straight into the path of Bowie, who just tucks his left boot around it and into the bottom right corner of Di Gregorio's goal. And the Verona manager looks on with delight. It's not been a season they'll want to remember. Serie B waits for those in yellow. But with 10 minutes to go before the end of the first half, they have a lead against the run of play on the road. Here in Turin, in a stadium they never seem to get a result. And the Scudetto winners in 84-85 will need to return again to the top flight. But while they are still here, we mentioned it before the start of the game that these types of games can have slip-ups. And Bowie getting a goal that he will forever remember into the bottom left-hand corner. After the mistake at the back from Bremer. And the away side take what is a surprise lead. Locatelli has gone into the book, and maybe I was a little bit confused earlier on in the game. Locatelli thinking he had been booked, but he has certainly been booked now. I think the earlier one was the one that was flashed at Friese alongside the earlier one with Cagliardini. As here come Bowie once again down the left-hand side, forcing Di Gregorio into a save, and it's out for a corner kick, and the goalkeeper is now screaming. At his back line, Kelly just managed to get across and put a block in, but the away side have their tails up here in Turin with 9 minutes to go before half-time. They found themselves in an unexpected lead, in an unexpected position on the road. They average just 0.7 goals a game. It's just their 24th goal of the season. Their 12th goal on the road during the campaign. The worst of anyone in the league, level with Lecce and Lazio with that goal. But they've taken a surprising lead against Juventus by a goal to Jonathan David. Wins a free kick just off the edge of his own penalty area. Those in black trying to get on with it quickly now, and for a neutral, it is one of those games that does offer everything and anything as the home side, the form side, who have lost just one game all season at home. They've won 10, drawn 6. That defeat came to Como the back of February, the last time that they did lose this season, but they find themselves a goal down to already relegated Hellas Verona. In the middle with Kelly, has to move it across towards the left-hand side, but tries to play it more centrally in towards Thuram, who loses the ball. And now down the right-hand side, Suslov has a bit of space to break into, runs into a little bit of traffic as Yildiz, Thuram and Kelly all came across to put a little bit of pressure on the Slovakian down this near side. Locatelli with the ball, being part of absolutely everything inside this first half. Sends it to Conceição on the right-hand side. Links up nicely around the corner with McKennie. Pull back into Conceição. McKennie dinks one over, and it's almost tucked away by Tournament at the back post. Excellent defending from Nelson and Frise just to get themselves across. It was beautifully worked by McKennie, just dinked it over. And it was Thuram who tried to knock it down into the corner, played it off the back of Nelson. And out for a corner kick on this near side, which Cambiasso will come across to take. It's the fourth corner for Juve. Goes short towards Yildiz. Tries to take on to his right, but he's just run into a little bit of trouble. Has to come back towards Locatelli, who's been closed down quickly by Suslov. Back out towards the edge of the area and towards Kalulu, who tries to loft one in. It comes out towards Yildiz, who has a shot in, and he's blocked. And then a second attempt from Cambiasso, blocked again. And out for another corner kick, and with 6.5 minutes to go in this first half, it's Juve trying to find a leveller. And inside the box, it was Edmondson just outstretching that right shoulder. It's another corner kick. Apologies, it's the 8th corner now for Juve. Floated in towards the box, but there's Edmondson to clear it back out. The shot comes in, and it was a good attempt from Kalulu on the volley. He hit it sweetly, but just couldn't keep it down. Going about 6 or 7 yards off the top of over the top of the crossbar. And the stats and the game certainly in Juventus' favour. 74% possession to 26. And expected goals of 0.65 against 0.2. 11 shots on target to 3. 9 corners to 1. 270 passes against 93 passes in this first half so far. But the score and the stat that matters is Hellas Verona lead by a goal to 0. The old football manager type scoreline that we have seen. Hellas Verona haven't won since they beat Bologna on the road back on the 8th of March. 7 games ago. They have lost 5 of those. They did draw against Lecce in the last game, which pretty much confirmed that they were going to be relegated. They had to win that game more than anything, but Lecce picking up 4 points from the two sides in the bottom of the table when it really matters is one of the big talking points over the last couple of weeks. But that is just Hellas Verona's only win, that game back in March, since they did back-to-back wins against Atalanta and Fiorentina back in early December. But here comes Conceição down the right-hand side, just trying to stretch his legs, but just runs into Frise, who gets himself across and clears the danger. There's one win in 18 for those in yellow. But so far, so good in this first half. They're doing a number on those in black. 4 minutes to go then before any time to be added on the end of the half, which I can't see there being too much time that will be added on. It's with Kalulu halfway inside the Hellas Verona half over on the far side. Brings it back nicely in towards McKennie. Tries to float one towards Jonathan David on the edge of the area, and it's knocked down in towards Thuram, who just leaves a foot in, but the referee happy to allow play on with Akpo on the ball. Gets caught by Jonathan David, who this time does give the free kick away, according to the referee, who Giovanni Airoli has been involved in plenty of high-end fixtures this season. Real Betis from Real Oviedo, 10 minutes into their game, 0-0 there. Auxerre, with 20 minutes to go against Angers, is 3-0 up now, as is Paris FC at home to Brest. And Strasbourg to lose with 23 minutes to play is still 1-1. And over in the Belgian Pro League, Club Brugge are beating Anderlecht by a goal to 0 in the championship round, and is the Belgian league that does have the strangest of changes. At the end, it splits not just into 2, but into 3 different sections. The relegation playoff, the Conference League playoff, and then those trying to get themselves into the championship round as well. But it certainly makes it very, very interesting as the season does go on and points start to change and be divided, as Yildiz having to get back and do the defensive work himself, being the last man, but wins the ball back, sends it towards the left-hand side with the runners of Cambiasso and Thuram both getting down the left-hand channel. Thuram still on the ball, trying to squeeze through two, but just crowded out nicely by Nelson and Belgali, and then Frise comes across as well to do the final recovery work. Clears it out towards the goal scorer Bowie, who plays it back in towards the middle to Akpakpro, who goes down under the lightest of touches and will win a free kick for those in yellow. And with 2 minutes to go before half-time, they'll have a little bit of breathing room. Will Hellas Verona here? And what will the Juventus manager say to his players at half-time? It hasn't been a game he will want to remember too fondly. Luciano Spalletti. Paolo Sammarco will be pleased with how his side have fared. They've defended valiantly. They've kept Juventus really trying to shoot from range more than anything. They've put quite a few crosses into the box as well, but they've been dealt with as best they can from Hellas Verona, and they've stopped any real opportunities from going against Montipo in the goal over on the left-hand side. Just got 60 seconds then before we find out how long is still to go. And there are a few players out injured for both sides. Kapal and Milik, the two main ones out with thigh injuries for Juve. Gift Orban, the key one, out for Hellas Verona with his muscle injury. 7 goals to his name. Daniel Mosquera as well. Bela Kopchap. Sedar's got 2 goals to his name this season. Enoya Goke all out through injury, and Valentini out after picking up disciplinary points in the last few games. Locatelli with the ball in towards the box, so it's cleared out towards Locatelli again over on the far side. Decides to go against the cross on this occasion and comes back out. The free kick will go to Juve. 10 yards off the edge of the penalty area. It was just a lazy leg that was just left in at the end of the half by Gagliardini. Just try to get across his man. He has to be careful as well. He's already on a booking from the early stages of his game, and Cambiasso going down under the touch, and it will be a shooting opportunity for the home side right at the end of this first half. We're coming up to 45 minutes. Locatelli standing over it while Montipo sets his wall up. Just 1 minute will be added on at the end of this first 45 minutes. Locatelli, Kelly and Conceição standing over it as Cambiasso moves away. 4 now in the wall, with Kalulu also trying to cause a little bit of havoc in there. The keeper Montipo still not happy with where his wall has been placed, just inside the penalty area. It will likely be the last opportunity at the end of the half. The referee moves back and he's happy with the wall. Locatelli, right-footed, rolls it back in towards Kelly, who tries to just send it low into the bottom corner, but it's blocked ever so easily by Edmondson on the edge of the box, and it's cleared away towards the halfway line. Down the left-hand side, is there one more opportunity for Cambiasso to get the ball in towards the box, but he just runs out of space, and Suslov gets a foot in for a throw-in level with the edge of his own penalty area. And as time starts to creep down, the referee, Ioldi, in no real rush here as he blows for half-time, and it is a half-time that Hellas Verona will remember. Juventus came here, they've dominated the game, but the one thing that matters more than anything else is the scoreline. And at half-time, it's Hellas Verona who lead here in Turin by a surprise lead by a 1-0. Bremer hit the post from a header inside the first half. Locatelli then had a whistling shot just go past the right-hand post before right at the other end, Bowie tucking it into the bottom corner after a Bremer mistake. It has been all Juve in the first 45 minutes as they try to secure their place in the Champions League, but just like everybody else around them, they're falling on this very weekend. The Hellas Verona, nothing to play for but pride, and they're certainly showing that in the first half. They lead on the road. It's Juventus 0, Hellas Verona 1. Good evening all and welcome back to the second half of this game. Just one change being made for Juventus at half-time as the referee has got us out rather quickly for the second half, and the away side will get us back underway, going from right to left in that all-yellow strip. Back to the keeper, Montipo, who's expected to be even busier in this second half than he was in the first, but it's those in yellow attacking early at the start of the second period down the right-hand side with Akpo. Just runs into a bit of danger in Lloyd, who just clears the ball away, and Juve will get themselves up the pitch. So 30 seconds gone in the second half here in Turin. Di Gregorio is the man that remains in goal for Juve. Kalulu, Bremer and Kelly, the back three. McKennie, Locatelli and Cambiasso, the midfield three, with Conceição and Yildiz going to fit into that space as well. I think Kalulu will keep himself on the right of the back four, and Jonathan David might move a little bit more centrally in the middle and will sit likely behind Vlahovic, who has come in for Turan at half-time, and Conceição and Yildiz on either side. And here's Jonathan David on this near right-hand side, just playing in more of a midfield role that we have seen throughout this season to take away from the 25 goals that he was hoping to achieve at the start of the season. For those in yellow, they remain the exact same. Montipo in goal, Nelson Friso's on a yellow card, and Edmondson the back three. Belgaliak, Akpo, Gagliardini also on a booking, Bernetti and Bradaric the five in midfield, Suslov and Bowie the two up front. Locatelli is also on a yellow card for Juventus from that opening 45 minutes. Real Betis lead against Real Oviedo by a goal to nil over in France. Angers pulled one back against Auxerre. It's 3-1 there. Paris continued their rampage against Brest, winning by 4 goals to nil. And Toulouse scored late against Strasbourg, leading by 2 goals to 1, just going into stoppage time. As Juve try and can start the second half the way that they played in the first half, and that's just by dominating the ball and dominating the possession. It's certainly hoping to be a game of two halves for those in black, in terms of the scoreline at least. And it's not desperation station just yet. They don't need to show too much spirit or signs of life either. They showed plenty of that inside the first 45 minutes, but Hellas Verona just catching them up the other end against the run of play. But it's Bremer who hit the post in the first half on this near right-hand side, and just brings it into Conceição halfway inside the Hellas Verona half, just hugging this touchline. He's taken a little bit of a tackle on the way through by a leg left in by Suslov, and the referee came across with his hand in his pocket. Ayaraldi. Samaranko looks on, the Hellas Verona manager, over 250 Serie A appearances to his name when he was a player. Now having to do it as a manager as well, and he'll have to do it in Serie B, but for the time being he's got to look on and watch his side defend a free kick from this near side, which Cambiasso will stand over. There's no one in the makeshift wall, just hugging this near touchline. It's played in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but headed out comfortably by Frise again, who has been fantastic at the back in the opening 50 minutes of this contest to keep those in yellow still in front and those in black at bay. It's back with Cambiasso on the right-hand corner of the area. Sends it down the right channel, looking for Conceição, who continues to try and run and open up the space. Sends it towards the penalty area, and on the turn, Jonathan David got his foot through it, but strayed over the top of the bar. And had he been part of the Italian Six Nations side, he would certainly have gathered a few extra points on the board there, but in a game of football, that's not where he would have wanted that to see. Into row Z at the back of the stand, away to the right-hand side. And Juve, who fell into the danger in the first half of thinking that this game was going to be a formality. The reverse fixture was 1-1, and Verona have already made them pay once this season, and as it stands, they're making them pay once again, as Juve have moved into a 4-2-3-1 formation now at the start of this second half, as that change with Vlahovic is bringing him into that striker role and moving Jonathan David into the midfield.
But it's with Kalulu on this near right-hand side again. He's had plenty of the ball inside the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Lays it back more centrally towards Locatelli, who just turns and drives towards the right-hand side towards Conceição, but going with him really well was Suslov, so he has to go back onto his left. Plays it nicely in towards the middle. Looking for McKennie, who tried to get the shot through, and Jonathan David also trying to get on the end of it, but out came the keeper. Montipo got hold of the ball, and Jonathan David's got a bit of the goalkeeper as well, and he's trying to protest to the referee, but he may just find himself in the referee's book here. Bremer taking out Bowie earlier on as well, as McKennie took the shot from the edge of the box. He took a deflection off Gagliardini, almost found its way through in towards Jonathan David, who was having his shirt pulled as he was going through. That might have taken him off his feet, and in doing so, he's then gone in with a knee in towards the top of the keeper's head of Montipo, who's just going to receive a little bit of treatment. But the two substitute keepers both just warming up on the near side. Simeone Perilli, the 23-year-old Italian backup keeper, is one of the options that they do have in yellow to bring on if needs be, but he has taken a bit of a clattering, and it does look like the goalkeeper is going to have to come off here. Montipo, the captain for Hellas Verona, the long-serving number one. Spalletti has conversations with his size, tries to give a few orders. So Mako in that wonderful Hellas Verona sort of training kit that they do have. It's a wonderful colour, that sort of millennial green, and being a millennial, it does entice me a little bit more than it probably should, but we do see it plenty often in Serie A, the wonderful kits that the teams do have, as Montipo is back to his feet, and no changes being forced just yet for the away side, who will try and continue for the time being with the same goalkeeper. As it stands in Serie A, it's Juventus remaining in fourth place. They have a chance to go above AC Milan if they can find a win. AC Milan have just won 1 in 5 since they pulled out a win against their biggest rivals, Inter. What was going to be, could well be one of the last ever games at that famous old stadium for Hellas Verona. Well, they're staring their fourth win directly in the face. As it stands, it'd still be 10 points off safety with 3 games to go. And if they pull out a few wins at the end of the season, it will be one of those cases of what if. Sometimes sides and fans, once you are relegated, you just want to know that you are relegated. You don't want to all of a sudden start turning up now the pressure isn't on anymore, and seeing yourself go down by a point or so. I don't think Hellas Verona will need to worry about that too much in their final games coming up. They do have Como at home next before Inter Milan on the road, and then Roma at home. It's an incredibly tough last 4 games for them, and even if they did still have a shot at staying up after beating Lecce, that last 4 games that they do have certainly makes it a little bit tougher, as Juve have the ball over on the left hand side. They've got some good games as well coming up, 2 sides near the bottom of the table in Lecce and Fiorentina, and then Torino mid-table side on the road for the last outing of the campaign. They'll still be expected to finish in the top 4. The 4 sides they are all facing, with 3 of them inside the bottom 5, and 1 sitting just above those places. But the side they're expected to beat better than any of the others are currently doing a number over them here. 10 minutes into the second half, it's still the away side leading here in Turin by a goal to 0. On this near left-hand side, with Bowie, just runs into trouble, just bullied off the ball by Bremer, who then sends it in towards Conceição and gets a little bit of a push from the Scotsman and gets a free kick on the edge of his own box. And those in black having to start and try and try something different in this second half. Mönchengladbach and Dortmund still 0-0 with less than 20 minutes to go in that game. It's given away in the midfield towards Cagliardini. He's just in front of him. He's forced out wide towards his left-hand side. Tries to find a bit of support and receives it in Bradaric. Lays it in towards the middle, towards Akpa. Akpro just loses the ball to Jonathan David, but does win the free kick in the process. And Hellas Verona will be in no rush whatsoever to take the free kick here. They'll allow the time to go into their favour as much as they can in this game. You may see Giovanni Aroldi, the referee, pulling out a few cards that might match the colours of the Verona players. But on the left-hand side, taken short towards Bradaric, crosses one in towards the box, looking for the Scotsman once again, but it comes back out towards the right-hand side, and Belgali just has a flash of a pan shot at it from 25 yards out and well over the top of the crossbar. Goal kick's taken quickly, though, by Kalulu in towards Di Gregorio. Sends it across to the left-hand side towards Kelly. Racing towards the halfway line. And now the pressure starts to come on from those in yellow, with the highest man up the pitch being Bowie. Come back into their own half and a little bit more central, pushing it towards the right-hand side as Locatelli once again just tries to find the pass through the gap into the middle, given away towards Bowie once more, but then lost inside the middle of the park by Suslov. And now Juve can try and attack on the left-hand side, trying to scrape themselves in towards the box. Support comes from the right, the cross comes in, but it's just over the top of the header of Vlahovic. It's still in play with Conceição down the left. He's got 2 yellow shirts for company. Tries to find one in black. Managed by Kalulu. Level with the edge of the penalty area. His cross into the box. Left to be desired, though, as it's cleared back out towards Kelly once more. On this near right-hand side for Kalulu to have a second bite at the cherry from the cross, but it's a little bit too far on this occasion and headed back out towards the far left corner of the penalty area. But Juve still on the attack and on the ball with Locatelli. Bang in the middle of the Hellas Verona half. Back out towards Conceição. Level with the edge of the D. Just trying to return it back in towards Conceição on the edge of the penalty area, but just cleared away by those in yellow. And Juve find themselves having to get on with it quickly. As Bremer takes the throw down. One of the coaches on the near side racing out of his dugout to get the ball for those in black to get the game on with it rather quicker than the players are able to do so, as Kelly plays it into his own man and he just gives the ball away to those in yellow. And Bernede, who tries to break down the left-hand side. He's got a little bit of support from Suslov, who's done ever so well just to hold it up. Turns, faces the wrong way and just can't quite get there ahead of Bremer, who cuts in front, but it won't sit down for him. And Cagliardini will win the ball, but gives away the free kick in the process right on the halfway line. And a few of the bench from the Hellas Verona side come out to protest that, as Locatelli looked like he'd given the foul away on Cagliardini. But the referee making a decision against a 31-year-old Italian, the former Inter and Scudetto winner, a late career Verona signing. Offers plenty of experience in this side. If he does stay with them next season in the second tier, he will offer even more. It's on the left again for Juve in the corner of the area, floated in towards the box, but again over the top of everybody and out for a goal kick. And as time goes on, Juve starts to become a little bit more desperate. On the right hand side of the pitch, it was a whipped cross from the left hand side over the top of Vlahovic, who just looks on in frustration. He's got 3 goals to his name, does the Serbian striker this season in Serie A. He was once one of Europe's most coveted forwards, but he is going to need balls to him to go a little bit better. He's not been involved as much as he would have liked this season due to various injuries and time off that he has had in his squad. He's played in towards the middle, looking for Suslov once again. Can't quite get his first touch right, but it falls back towards Edmondson in his own half. But in steps Juve once more, putting that high press on the right-hand side. Akprakpo just runs into danger and gives it away to McKennie, who tries to stretch his legs, but in turn gives the ball away once more. And neither side really want hold of it, as Hellas Verona just send it forward in hope more than in expectation, as it's picked up by Kalulu, who drives forward in towards the heart of the yellows on this near side. Nice little 1-2 with Locatelli, who finds Vlahovic on the right-hand channel. Comes back in towards Kalulu. Now to Locatelli, who sends it across more sideways than forward to Kelly on the edge of his own half. A little bit of linking play with Vlahovic and Locatelli once more to move it towards Kalulu on this right-hand side. Betis take the 2-goal advantage in La Liga against Oviedo just before half-time. Locatelli again in towards Kelly. Conceição, patient, methodical play here, and Conceição goes down under the challenge from Benede, who hasn't got into the referee's book just yet and seems to get away with one now, but it's a good position for a shot for those in black. Conceição, who just trying to wriggle his way free, the little maestro from the right-hand side, the Portuguese man. And it's Vlahovic who shoves everybody else away from it and says, leave this one to me. It's bang in the centre of the goal, about 10 yards outside it. It's a good place to try and shoot. Montipo, he's shaken off his head collision for the moment and now tries to direct his wall. There's 6 in the wall in yellow, there's 2 in the wall in black as well. As Vlahovic stands over this one, the referee blows his whistle. 25 yards out, Vlahovic left-footed over the wall and finds the equaliser. And it's the quality from the Serbian that draws Juve level, and parity is restored in Turin. And what a goal from the free kick. Just over the wall and into the bottom corner. Montipo trying to get across his goal line, could only really stand and watch as he stretched out his big right hand. And Vlahovic just shoved everyone away from it, said leave it to me, and shows exactly why he is the man that Juve have relied on for a number of years. His 4th goal of the season. He's a headline maker coming off the bench, the 26-year-old, hungry, capable of changing the game in any given moment, and he's done just so there as Juve chase Champions League football. That is a moment that will have real impact on their season, and now they're trying to turn this game completely on its head as racing through down the middle was Conceição, but it's just hacked away by Montipo. And now Spalletti is just asking for calm heads in this Juve side with 27 minutes to go. Time is now in their favour. They've been here before against Hellas Verona. They drew 1-1 last time these two sides met. It's the first free kick that they've scored in the league this season from 13 previous free kick attempts. There's Bernardi. Takes out his man on this near side and now will go into the referee's book. Another challenge on Conceição, who smashed his fist into the floor in frustration. But they haven't had too many of those opportunities this season from the free kick. On the edge of the box, he had one earlier in the game. Vlahovic on target, the first one that's found its way into the back of the net. There's another free kick with Locatelli standing over it. Sends it down the right-hand side in towards Conceição. Tries to take on his man in Bradaric in towards the box, looking for Jonathan David, but it's just hacked away and out for a corner kick by Edmondson on the edge of his 6-yard box, and Conceição just feigned to the left, drove to his right as he got the cross, and it took a slight deflection off Bradaric and went back through that corridor of uncertainty and out then for a corner kick. The corner swung in and it's almost gone all the way through and forced Montipo just to push it away. Bremer keeps it in and alive towards the left-hand side, floated back across, and it's Edmondson once again just puts his foot through it as it goes out for a throw-in over on the far side of the pitch, level with the penalty area. But it's back to the wall here. All hands on deck for those in yellow as they try and stop this Juve wave from taking them overboard. They were floating up the stream for a moment or so, but it feels for now like they've lost their paddle and that Juve are about to flood the boat as an excellent tackle from the goal scorer. Vlahovic wins a throw-in over on the far side. Gives the throw, to the away side over on the far side, but he did ever so well just to close down his man, and the Juve fans applauding the endeavour from the big front man who came on at half-time for Thuram. And as it stands, Juve have a 3-point gap over Como now. AC Milan still have that game in hand above them. Roma still have a game in hand below as well. As a 4-point gap to Roma in 6th, and a shot comes from the about 30 yards for Hellas Verona's, but it's a P-roll straight at Di Gregorio, who gets on with it quickly. Sends it down the right-hand side with Jonathan David able to stretch his legs down the middle, but just runs into a little bit of danger, and it's just cleared out nicely by Gagliardini, who's done ever so well in the middle of the park after going into the referee's book inside the opening couple of minutes of the game. It's on this near side with Belgali. Conceição chasing him back, so has to try and find a little bit of support, and finds it in Akpro, who goes down under a challenge of 3 Juve players, and the referee gives the free kick to those Juve players for obstruction, I think, more than anything else. But the one thing this Juve side have done this season more than almost any other is draw too many games. 11 draws to their name. They've only lost one more than Inter Milan at the top of the table. Inter Milan have won 7 more, and those 7 have all gone on draws as they have the ball on the left-hand side, flows it towards the far side of Conceição, but he just can't quite get it past Montipo, who just sticks up a big right leg. And then there was 2 Juve players just lurking behind, ready to stab the loose ball home. But what keeping from Montipo to keep his side level in this game, as that ball just came in beautifully from the left, and Conceição, unmarked at the far post, surely had to score and couldn't on that occasion. And then this time the ball comes back to him, and what a save again from Montipo, and 2 saves in 2 minutes against Conceição. Another ball just lofted in from the far left hand side from Cambiasso right onto a button of Conceição. This time he knocked it down into the ground. Montipo just stuck out a big right hand to put it over the top of his own bar and deny the Portuguese wide man 2 bites at a goal in the space of a couple of minutes. He still have the corner, which he'll come across to take. And floats towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It falls into the area, but Bremer can't get his foot around, and it'll be another corner kick for those in black. We've had plenty of them in this game. It's Conceição goes short. It's the 13th corner for the away side, which it will be retaken as the players weren't ready. Hellas Verona's players weren't back 10 yards, and Conceição will come across to take it. Kalulu, who took the short pass, will go in towards the box. It's played in towards the 6-yard box and headed back out towards Kalulu on the right-hand side, but it just falls away from him, and then Hellas Verona are able to clear their lines after a couple of attempts to do so. Well, Conceição denied twice by strong hands of Montipo. And with 22 minutes to go, it is pressure on pressure. Almost 500 passes to just over 150 in Juve's favour. Jonathan David comes off quickly on the near side and makes his way off for Miretti. He slowly tried to grow into the game, Jonathan David, but just wasn't to be for him. 6 goals to his name this season for the 26-year-old Canadian. But on comes Miretti, who is yet to score, the 22-year-old Italian in the league this season. And he's on the ball now just inside his own half. Breaks in towards the centre circle. Finds a nice pass in towards a little bit of space, and there's 3 on the charge for those in black. Valovic is one of them. Finds him with the ball, and I'm not too sure what he was aiming to do there, the Serbian number 9. As he just put his foot through, and ended up looking like one of those old Ronaldo free kicks. The knuckleballs that just goes to absolutely no one in particular. Well, Conceição, moments before, sticking a big left leg out, and then moments after, a header at the far post denied by Montipo, who certainly still has the potential to stay in Serie A next season. Anyone coming up from Serie B will certainly be looking at the Hellas Verona keeper as a potential option. Down in Serie B, with just one game left, it is still all to play for. At the top of the table, Venezia were promoted this weekend following their draw on Friday away at Spezia. Monza 4 points behind them. They lost on the road to Mantova by 3-2, which allowed Venezia to go up, but Frosinone got themselves back above Monza with their win against Juve Sabbia. Could still win the title as well with one game to go. 79 points by 78, but they could still find themselves out if Monza overturn an 8-goal difference as well against Frosinone. Palermo occupying fourth on 72. They're going to be in the playoffs, and there is still a race for the playoffs as Suslov makes his way off for the away side for Lovric. And Bradaric also makes his way off for Slotslager. He makes his way on to the right-hand side. So Lovric, the 27-year-old Slovenian international, former Udinese man, makes his way on, as does a 23-year-old Dane. Squad rotation option of Tobias Slotslager. And Bradaric, the 26-year-old Croatian left-back ex-Lille and Salernitana man, makes his way off alongside Suslov, the Slovakian. Still without a goal to his name this season, but as we said, back in Serie B, 8th place gets you in the playoffs, and any side down to 13th could still make that final playoff place. And that is Calcio Paldova, who could still get in there. And they're only 6 points, 4 points just above the relegation places as well. So a side in there bordering on both potential promotion and relegation in the middle of the park. The chances really of them getting in there are very, very slim pickings, being the lowest of a six potential sides that could get in there, and Avellino occupying 8th space at the moment, and 3 teams sitting on 46 points. If it was in any other league, Mantova would be in that 8th place, but head-to-head does rule over goal difference in the league in Italy. And down at the bottom, still not everyone relegated yet. 3 points separates Bari and all 3 sides at the bottom, Pescara, Calcio, Spezia and Reggiana, who could all stay up going into the last game of the season as well. Down in Serie B, who Bari play Catanzaro, who are in the playoffs and will just be preparing for them. Here with 17 minutes to go, it's Juve trying to provide a little bit extra at the end, towards the end of this game. Down in Serie C, the sides that Hellas Verona will face next season. Vicenza, who ran riot in the league, 8 more wins than anybody else, and 20 points higher than second place, will be one of the sides that they will meet, and then the next 9 sides going into those playoffs who will start in the week. And Inter Milan, after this game, can seal promotion in the late Sunday game with a point at home to Parma. They're ready to celebrate over in Milan, but it's Juve who would like to celebrate this evening as they put a little bit more pressure on this Verona back line and win a corner over on the far side. And the 13th of the afternoon, Verona have just had just the one. But the 13th for Juve to be taken from the far side. A change will be made before that, as Cambiasso will make his way off for Boga. The 29-year-old Ivory Coast winner, former Atalanta, Sassuolo and Chelsea Academy product. He's been around long enough to know exactly how to use late minutes coming off the bench. And he's got 15 minutes to try and help his side turn this game around. Corner from the far side, play towards the near post and cleared again by those in yellow. And it's easy as you like for Hellas Verona defending against Juve in this game. They've had all the possession. They've had 21 shots as well, Juve. They've forced the keeper, though, into just four saves. And picking the ball out of the back of his net on just one occasion, Hellas Verona. 5 shots to their name. And the goalkeeper has picked the ball out of his net just as many times as he's had to make a save as well. Di Gregorio, that Bowie goal in the first half, cancelled out in the second by a wonderful free kick from Vlahovic. As Conceição wins another free kick in the middle of the park off Bernede, who goes down holding his own knee to try and just fool the referees. He's on a yellow card after the amount of tackles he's made against the Portuguese wide man. But with 15 minutes to go, still 1-1 here in this game. Over in Spain, it's half-time between Betis and Oviedo. 2-0 the home side lead. In the Bundesliga, Freiburg and Wolfsburg kicked off 5 minutes ago, 0-0 there. In Turkey, Antalyaspor and Alanyaspor is 0-0, as is Kasim Pasa and Konsallispor, which is 1-1 in that game. Fatih Karamugluk beating Gençler Birliği by a goal to nil, and Eyüpspor beating Kayserispor by a goal to nil. On the road in Portugal, Braga are beating Estoril by a goal to nil as well, and Corbuga are beating Anderlecht by a goal to nil. On the road in the Championship group of the Belgian Pro League as well. Plenty of games, plenty of goals still going on this weekend, and it's Juve who are trying to find a winner here, with Vlahovic getting down the left-hand side, and there were a few tackles that went in there. Vlahovic still driving, got his shot away, but the referee then giving the free kick to those in yellow. As Vlahovic just bullied his way onto the ball, and the referee not happy that he did it fairly enough. Locatelli sent the ball towards the edge of the area. It was an excellent turn, but Vlahovic just got caught by Gagliardini, who got himself between man and ball. And as we've seen time and time again this season, when a defensive player goes between man and ball inside their own half and they get a slight touch, they do drop to the deck rather easily. It is something I'd like to see stamped out of the game rather soon, as defenders get way too much leeway compared to strikers when it comes to those types of tackles, and I don't want to see strikers done for it either. But here's Conceição driving in towards the middle and just throws Akparakpro off the ball, continues it across towards the left and towards McKennie, finds Kalulu, who puts a nice ball into the box looking for Vlahovic, but it's just half cleared away to the right hand side. Vlahovic just makes his way over and gets hold of it, drives it towards his right hand side, tries to get across in towards Kalulu, just a little bit over the top of the head of the French right back, but he gets hold of the ball over on the far touchline, wins it back and pulls it back towards the edge of the area once more. Into Conceição, lines one up on his left and just can't quite drag it all the way round. And it goes well wide of the right-hand post of Montipo's goal. And with 10 minutes to play, Hellas Verona are doing enough to get another point off Juve, and it will be these types of results the old lady will be disappointed about this season. Twice this year, as it stands, they drop points, but as we know, throughout the campaign, Verona concede more goals in the last 15 minutes than anybody else. 11 goals they have conceded in the last 15 minutes of games in Serie A this season. Inter Milan are also up there with 10 to their name as well, but they score plenty before that to not have to worry about too many goals going in late on. But for Hellas Verona, the amount of games that they have lost this season in those final moments of the contest. It's with Juve inside their own half with the substitute Moretti. Tries to send it long, looking to Kalulu on the left-hand side, but it's just intercepted by his opposite number, Nelson, who just clears it out. The 27-year-old Dane into the stands over on the far side, and the former Galatasaray and Copenhagen man. He's got Champions League experience to his name, doing the job over on that right-hand side. Coop Miner's being lined up here by Spalletti as the fourth change for the home side, and it will be the lively Conceição who makes his way off initially for Zegrova. Who comes on for Juventus. There's the 26-year-old Kosovian, winger who finds himself on the pitch. Bernetti makes his way off. He's on a booking and he's almost on the verge of being sent off as well for the away side. He makes his way off for Haroui. And that battle that we're seeing between Bernetti and Conceição is no longer going to continue, as both of them have been taken off here as well. It did look like for a moment that Koopmeiners was also being lined up on this near side, so we'll just get confirmation if he is about to be brought on or not. He is. Kelly's being brought off, and Koopmeiners will make his way on, so they're taking off a defensive player for a defensive midfield player to just try and add a little bit of quality higher up the pitch here, and it is Locatelli who wins it, sends it down to the right hand side looking towards Zagrova. Can't quite find the pass again towards Kalulu, who's made his way over from the left to the right hand side. 9 minutes into play in this game. Floats one towards the edge of the area and into the path of Miretti, who just can't quite turn onto his left. He's got 3 Verona players for company. Moves it on to his right and finds Kalulu again. It's played in towards the area, and both Boga and Valovic both swiping their right boots at it, and both coming up with just clean air. It's over on the left hand side still with those in black. No more changes for Juve to make. Verona made 3 of their 5, and they'll try and come away with the ball in the middle of the park with Harouiz, but he just falls off and he tries to play for a free kick, but the referee Ioroldi says no, play on. It's with his opposite number Miretti in the middle of the Hellas Verona half. 8 minutes then to play in this game. There's 4 lurking inside the box for those in black. It's with Miretti again over on the left hand side. A little bit of support just behind him and tries to find it. Drawn then across towards the right hand side in towards Kalulu with a good first touch and continues it over in towards the substitute Zagrova. Takes it on to his left and just tries to find some space as they'll move it from right to left in towards Koopmeiners, who now wears that captain's armband as well for Juve. Cross comes from the left, but it's Edmondson who just hacks it away as it bounces comfortably in front of him. And it is going to be like this now for the remaining 8 minutes of this game. Locatelli, who's run more than anybody else in this contest. Only Bernetti got close. The Frenchman who's been on the back of Conceição throughout the majority of the game. If he got any closer, he would have been sharing the same shirt as the Portuguese wide man, and Juve will send the ball forward and out for a goal kick, and it was poor on that occasion from Kalulu, and it will just drive the time down into the favour of the away side. They have nothing to play for except for pride. Juve still have Champions League football that they're wanting to aim for. But it's those in yellow with nothing to play for that are doing themselves a real justice. 23 shots to 5 in Juve's favour. 13 corners to 1 in their favour as well. 560 passes to 193 in their favour. But they just can't seem to find a way to beat Montipo. The first goal took plenty of class from Valovic from the free kick, and it feels like it's going to need more of that. Zagrova just taking on his man down the right hand side, plays it through his leg, space opens up towards the far side, and coming across was Boga, but he just couldn't get enough contact on it to send it past Montipo. But it was excellent work on the right hand side. Zagrova just left Freyse for dead, played it through his legs, broke down towards the right hand corner of the penalty area, and on his left just tried to float it towards Boga coming in at the far post, who just couldn't quite get enough on it to just send it back across the 6-yard box to those waiting inside the area for those in black. Bremer having to do defensive work. He hasn't had to do too much of that in this half. 6 minutes to go. Sends it across the left hand side in towards Koopmeiners. His pass giving it away in towards the middle. It's with the Scotsman once again who goes for goal, Bowie, but it's straight at Di Gregorio. He hit it a little bit too sweetly, did the Scots striker, forcing the keeper into a save straight down his throat though, and he really should have done better, but Juve getting away with it after giving the ball away in a really dangerous position. Had the substitute Koopmeiners over on the far side. And then a long ball again from Kalulu, goes all the way out of play for a goal kick, and with 5 minutes to go, the chances that those in black have had to see this game out, the two from Conceição, it were denied by Montipo, who's kept his side in this game. He's only had to make 4 saves, 2 more than the Juve keeper up the other end, but he's had to be alert inside his box to the infinite number of crosses that Juve have tried to put into the box. Kalulu just bounced in front of him, so he has to go back a couple of yards to try and get hold of the ball and to bring it down towards his feet. Works it in towards Miretti in the centre circle, linked up nicely in towards Kalulu. Playing on the left-hand side, he's just all over the pitch at the moment. Is the right back. Over on this near right-hand side with Zagrova, striding towards the corner of the area, feeds it in nicely in towards Miretti. His cross takes a deflection on the way through, comes back out towards Yildiz, back out again towards Boga, but he just couldn't quite angle his shot into the far corner. And there was a Hellas Verona man there just waiting for it. They got 3 behind the ball, just all stood on the goal line. And it was Harui on this left-hand side of the goal post, who just got his body in the way of it and hacked it away for a throw-in on this near side. And in fact, I think he's given a free kick after bringing down Zagrova a yard or so off the touchline. So danger still not over for those in yellow, but time is running out for Juventus. All the sides in and around the top of the table this weekend in Serie A have not pulled out the result that they would have wanted. Zagrova floats one in. There's still time for Juve to get the result that they would want with Yildiz. On the right-hand side, crowded out though by 2. Brings it back out towards Boga on the left-hand channel. Finds Locatelli in a more central role. Plays it in towards the area. Facing the wrong way though. Can't quite get the shot away. Back out towards Kalulu, who floats one a little bit too far. And it's into no one in particular, and Boga has to try and get across with the back heel and can't keep it in play. And out for a goal kick to the away side with just less than 3 minutes to play in this game. And all the top sides in the top 8. Napoli in second drew, AC Milan lost, Juve drawing in 4th, Como drew in 5th, Roma play tomorrow evening, Atalanta drew 0-0, as did Bologna as well. It was a night for Juve to try and benefit from the competition in the league, not stepping up over the last few days, and at the moment they haven't stepped up to take the points either, and it could just be the night for Inter Milan to get a point that they need to see and enjoy their title. It's a perfect weekend for them, unless Juve can find a way through and just to challenge AC Milan in that 3rd spot. At the moment their fans will be watching on after their defeat to Sassuolo earlier on in the day. It's hacked away by Hellas Verona into the Juve half, trying to start again. Oh, those in black bringing it towards the right hand side and towards Zagrova, who's been the main man since coming on the pitch following the substitution earlier a few minutes ago. It's over on the right hand side with Boga, takes it onto his right level with it to the 6-yard box, can't quite get the cross past his first man, but he's not taken down by Bowie, and he gives the ball away to Zagrova, who just tries to flick it round his back. There's a crowd of players in there, and it's Hellas Verona who will just put their foot through it and get it out to the halfway line, out towards Kalulu, who's under pressure from Hawar once again. And they've got 60 seconds now plus time added on at the end of this game as a tackle goes in on the edge of the box, and the referee says nothing to do there for Boga, but it's a poor clearance from Montipo towards the left hand side, and 10 yards off the far left corner of the penalty area it's Juve who come again in towards Zagrova on the right hand side, trying to just take it onto his left. He's got a little bit of support on the left hand side from Locatelli, who can't quite dink it forward, gets a second bite at the cherry, tries to send it in towards Vlahovic, who goes down inside the box. And he's protesting to the referee. The Hellas Verona players also crowding the ref to say there was no foul in there. The referee has given a corner kick to Juve on this near side. As we're coming up to 90 minutes on the clock, I think he's got that decision right. Vlahovic just turned his man, and the referee happy, as is VAR, as the corner's going to be swung in towards the far side of the box, but it's once again dealt with, and the Hellas Verona fans here enjoying that one as it's cleared away. They have nothing to play for, the side second bottom in the league, but they will enjoy taking a point on the road against Juve if he can stay this way. 5 have added on as the cross from the far side goes past everyone and out for a goal kick. So we're into 5 minutes of stoppage time, 5 minutes for Juventus to try and save their skin on this Sunday evening. The sun's starting to go down, as is the time that Juve have left. They've struggled this season against sides that they should have been beating. It's one of the defining factors of the Juve season. Too many draws, and if this is another one that allows the likes of Como and Roma to get into the Champions League places, then they'll only have themselves to blame. It's a game that they should have walked. It's a game that they probably expected to. Not many fans turned out for this one. Plenty of empty seats, with the expectation of it being a very comfortable win on Sunday night here in Turin. But it's been anything but that, despite the domination of the ball, of the shots, the defensive work from this Hellas Verona side. If they'd done this more throughout the season, then they may and well stay up, but their big problem was always goals throughout the campaign. But a third goal of the season for Kieran Bowie. And here's Juve still once again with Vlahovic trying to squeeze through on his left-hand side. There's 4 players around him. Comes back out towards Grover. He just bounces off him and then just hacked away by Harouis again on the edge of his own area. A bit of ping-pong and then just cleared back once more. It's with Kalulu on the right-hand side. 3 minutes to play of the 5 added on. Zagrova once again, who's been everywhere across the pitch since coming on, finds Coop Miners in the centre of the Hellas Verona half. Moves it across to Boga on the left-hand side. Vlahovic at the front post makes his run forward. Boga sends it towards the edge of the area and finds a man in yellow rather than a man in black, but he's won the ball back himself. Excellent work from the number 13. Back out towards Zagrova, who goes for goal and squeezes it through. Oh, and it's come off the post. And off both posts, in fact. And Zagrova was wheeling away. I thought it was a goal. It came off the inside of the post, went all the way across the goal line and off the inside of the other post as well. It's still with Juve trying to find a late winner with Moretti. Gives the ball away, and now Hellas Verona have the ball, trying to go for goal from the halfway line, and they just send it through, and he's going to go out for a throw over on the far side. Bowie pointing to the keeper as Di Gregorio got a ball from the near side to try and take a goal kick. But Zagrova has his head in his hands. That was the moment in this game. Late on, cutting in from the right-hand side, driving at the goalkeeper and sending his shot in off the inside of the post and then come off the other post as well. Well, I think it's come off the goalkeeper, actually. From the first instance, it looked like it came off the other post. It's actually the goalkeeper who's been rather fortunate there, Montipo, that it's just bounced off him and come away, but off the post right at the end for Zagrova. With 90 seconds still to go, can they find a winner? Moretti on the edge of the area, goes for goal, but it's straight down the throat of Montipo, who goes down to the ground, cradling the ball like a mother cradles their newborn child. It's been a superb goalkeeping performance from Montipo. He's only been beaten by a superb free kick from Vlahovic after he came on at half-time. For 30 minutes they've had their backs to the wall since Juve equalised. In fact, it's probably been 90 minutes they've had their backs to the walls. If you have a look at any sort of momentum trackers from this game, you will be stunned at how little Hellas Verona have had involved in this. 3 big chances that Juve have had. 76% possession, 27 shots to 7, 14 corner kicks, over 650 passes to just 200 for the away side, 17 free kicks to 9 in their favour as well. But on the scoreboard, it's 1-1 between the side chasing Champions League football and the side that's already in Serie B next season, as a tackle goes in on the near side, and Kalulu goes down. The referee's going to give a late booking here to Slotslager, and I think that is a poor decision from the ref. He's made it very, very late. Sorry, Harui went into the book, and Kalulu went down to the right-hand side, was taken out off the ball according to the referee, who comes across and issues a red card to somebody on the bench of the Hellas Verona, for what they've said for the foul, and it will be the last opportunity of the game for those in black. It's the assistant coach for Hellas Verona who does have to make his way off here as Zagrova stands over this free kick. It's level with the penalty spot, 3 or 4 yards off the right-hand side of the penalty area, just one in the wall. There's 9 lurking in and around the box for Juve. Everyone behind the ball for Hellas Verona here. It's all or nothing with Zagrova, the referee. Happy now where the wall is. Zagrova stands over, floats towards the far side, and there's Montipo to punch it away. And there's the full-time whistle. And it's a weekend where the underdogs are pulling out unexpected points. And another one has done so on this Sunday evening as well. Already relegated, Hellas Verona standing up to the test that came for 94 minutes from Juve. And they take a point with them back to their home ground. Juve started well, and they started with plenty of pressure. 29 shots to 7 in the game, 14 corner kicks, 650 passes against 213, 19 free kicks, but they only forced the keeper into 6 saves, and Montipo doing everything to keep them out. Bremer hit the post inside the first half with a header. Locatelli whistling, then a shot just wide of the right-hand post before Bowie tucked into the bottom corner against the runner play after a Bremer mistake. The second half started as the first half, with Juve putting up the show and trying to get themselves level in the contest. Vlahovic won a free kick, pushed everyone away, said leave it to me, and put a beautiful strike into the bottom right hand corner. And with 30 minutes still to go, you would have put your house and your mortgage on Juve coming away with all 3 points. Conceição was denied twice by 2 strong hands from Montipo in the goal, and then very, very late on, with almost the last kick of the game, Zagrova drove down the right hand side, cut in onto his left, and hit the inside of the post and bounced back off a grateful Montipo and away from danger. It wasn't a night for Juve, but it was a bit of a free hit. Everyone else in and around them has failed to win this weekend, though Roma have their big chance tomorrow to go within a point of those Champions League places. For Inter Milan, they come up next. They need a point to win the league. For Hellas Verona, they were denied their 4th win this season, but they will enjoy that point on the road. Back-to-back draws for them, 20 points on the board. It's Serie B for Hellas Verona, but it's an enjoyable night here in Turin. It's finished Juve 1, Verona 1. Good night.